Everyone, as you can see from the title of this video, and if you've followed me on Twitter, maybe you've never been to the YouTube channel before, I'm going to the hospital for minimum of 2 weeks. It could be longer. It could be 3 weeks or 4. I don't think it'll be that long, but it's always a possibility. And I'm making this video to let you know that I'm going to be okay, and that for me this is normal, and this is part of my cystic fibrosis. So I just want to let you guys know what's going on and why you don't need to worry. Even though this is, you're gonna get mixed messages because this is not easy for me. It is very hard, but at the same time, I know that I'm going to be safe and healthy and okay after this is over. So just to explain, for those of you who do not know, I know most of you know that I have cystic fibrosis, but a lot of you might not understand why I have to go to the hospital or what cystic fibrosis is. So the very short version is that cystic fibrosis is a genetic disease, meaning both my parents have to be carriers of the gene for me to get it, right? Just like with blue eyes. Similar to blue eyes, cystic fibrosis is a recessive gene. So that means even if both parents are carriers, there's only a 1 in 4 chance that the offspring or the baby, me, would have it. Unfortunately, not only did I get cystic fibrosis, so did my younger sister, Grace, who's 2.5 years younger than me. The way I was diagnosed is when I was 2 years old. I basically had a rectal prolapse, which I pooped my insides out. All my intestines, my guts, everything. And I had to be taken to the emergency room and everything pushed back inside of me, basically. And that's how I was diagnosed. But what cystic fibrosis does in a nutshell is, because of that mutation in my gene, in my DNA, it causes my body to create all of this mucus that fills up inside me. Like if I got an x-ray right now, it would look like I'm drowning. And as a matter of fact, when I've gone to a hospital before in an emergency that wasn't familiar with cystic fibrosis, they were confused because they were like, how are you breathing right now? It shows that you're drowning on your x-ray. It shows that you have like pneumonia severely. And they had to call my hospital in Boston and be explained what to do. So that fills up my lungs. It's why a couple years ago I was on the double lung transplant list. But a miracle happened and a new medicine came out that basically what it does is it corrects the genetic mutation that I have almost. It basically communicates to my body to do all these things to try to fix it. But it doesn't fix it permanently. It's not a cure. But it gave me back so much of my life. I literally started my YouTube channel after I was on that new drug for a month. So a year and a half ago, the only reason I had the energy to start doing this is because of that miracle drug. And since that drug came out, I have not had to go into the hospital a single time. Before that drug came out, I was going in the hospital every other month for 2 to 4 weeks. So I was spending half my life in a hospital. And as soon as I would get out of the hospital, I would start to get sick again. So I'd have like maybe 1 good week, and then I'd start to get really sick again, and then I'd have to go back in the hospital. So all that mucus in my lungs, that makes it so I can't breathe, right? But it affects everything. Enzymes can't digest the food because the mucus blocks them. So I have to take artificial enzymes, and I have to have a feeding tube to get extra calories through my feeding tube. It also, you can see I'm coughing now. I try to hide this on streams and in videos normally, but I want to get this message out. It blocks my pancreas from making insulin, so I have to take insulin like a diabetic, and I've been really bad about taking my insulin, to be honest with you guys, and I wanted to be honest with you guys in this video, but it makes me feel guilty. Makes me feel like it's a little bit my fault, because I try to take care of myself. I try to do my feedings through my feeding tube, but the diabetes stuff is really hard. And if I don't take care of my blood sugar, I don't take the insulin and monitor my blood sugar, all of that extra nutrition I get doesn't do anything. So it's like a waste. So I have to be doing that diabetes stuff, and I have to be holding myself accountable. And maybe that's part of why I'm saying it in this video. But tomorrow, basically what happens when I get sick like this is it gets to the point where I'm just coughing up so much blood constantly that I might have to have what's called an embolization. I get these multiple times a year because of the amount of blood I cough up. And basically they inject bio beads into my lungs to try to repair the little rips and tears that I create when I cough. And that's where the blood comes from. But the main thing that they're going to do is I have a port in my chest right here. It's not too graphic. You can see it just kind of bulging out because of how thin I am. But that's because I've gotten so many PICC lines in my veins that my veins have so much scar tissue that they can't do PICC lines or IVs anymore. My veins are useless, so they had to install a port a couple years ago. But through that port, I will receive antibiotic medication for 2 weeks because with all the mucus inside my body, it's a cesspool for bacteria. And that's unfortunately what kills CF patients so young, is the bacteria. So I don't want you guys to freak out because it's normal for me. I go in there, I get the antibiotics for 2 weeks, and then I'm so healthy again. So I'm gonna come out of this okay. I have to be honest with you, I'm a little scared right now because I haven't had to go in the hospital for over a year and a half. And I think back to what it was like when I was having to go in every other month, and it was really, really hard. And I just get scared that it's gonna be like that again. This drug is so new. What if it stops working the way it's supposed to? You know, there's just not enough research done. So I'm a little nervous right now, but I can tell you a clean out will help me. I'll be in the hospital for at least 2 weeks, getting antibiotics through my port and a lot of other stuff as well. I get physical therapy where someone comes in and basically hits my back and my sides and a lot of different positions. It's called chest PT or chest physical therapy. And that's literally to push, like break up the mucus where it's, you know, it collects and just sits. It's thick, heavy mucus. So by doing that, I'm like getting my cough reflex just thinking about it. But that helps me cough it up. So while I'm getting all this antibiotics to clear out whatever I'm growing inside me, which could be staph, pseudomonas, I'll have my culture tomorrow, which will tell us, but that's typically what I grow. While I'm getting that all cleaned out, I will also be getting that physical therapy and they'll be exercising with me. So the antibiotics will take a toll. I'll be so tired. But at the end of it all, I will be so much better. But the way I describe this to people, getting a clean out for a cystic fibrosis patient is basically like, you know, think about when your phone starts to lose battery, right? That's what happens to my body all the time. And then I go to the hospital and it's like putting your phone on the charger. It gets up to 100%. Then unfortunately, as soon as you take it off the charger or as soon as I get out of the hospital, that 100% starts to go down again until I need to go back in the hospital. And like I said before, Trikafta, that medicine, I was having to do it like every other month. I don't foresee that happening again, but it's just a little scary to have to go back in. One other thing I want to say, especially if you're still watching the video, because I know people are going to ask and be concerned about if I need help with medical bills or anything financial, I need you to know that I don't, that I'm all set. And I know a lot of you will think that if I did need help financially, I would be too proud or too humble to ask. I promise you I wouldn't be. If I need that financial help, I will certainly find a way to ask and let it be known, but I truly do not need that kind of help right now. I have to say what's been the most helpful for me, especially because I am fully vaccinated now. Obviously for me, that was very scary because if I got coronavirus, it would not be good for cystic fibrosis, but I'm fully vaccinated now, but I'm still kind of living like I'm in quarantine. So to be able to tweet out how I'm doing sometimes and communicate with you guys and see your replies back, even if I'm too tired or sick to reply, I see them and I read them and it lifts me up every time. It reminds me why I keep going forward, why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I know that everything is going to be okay. So please just know, I don't know, obviously, if I'm going to be uploading any content or doing any streams, but I did just buy a brand new laptop so I can. Now, I know you're going to say, Jake, take care of yourself first. I promise that I will. But I want to possibly do a live stream when I'm in the hospital. And I want to possibly upload videos. I think a really cool video. I can't do my room tour now for a while, but I want to show you guys how I set up my room when I'm in the hospital. I want to show you guys a room tour of my hospital because that literally, for a long time, I know how to set up a hospital room at this point because that was kind of my home. I was there sometimes more than I was home. So I want to show you guys that. But obviously, I won't do anything else unless I can. But please, one thing I want to say, if you don't know anyone in your life that's sick, like really sick, the best thing you can do, or if you do and you don't know how to treat them, treat sick people like regular people. And I tweeted this the other day, but one of the most important things is that we can't keep spreading this and teaching sick people that they need to be healthy before they can live their lives. If I would have believed that, I wouldn't have ever achieved anything in my life. So I've always been sick. So trust me, I know sometimes I do overdo it, and I do stream when I shouldn't, and I make videos when I shouldn't. So you're not always wrong, and I won't get mad at you if you tell me to take a break. But please, if I say I'm up for this, believe in me, just like I believe in you. And if anything ever happens to me, just know that I have had the best life. I'm so lucky. If anything right now, take away from this video, maybe I'm scared, but who doesn't get scared sometimes? I'm scared, but I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. I have the greatest life I could ever imagine. And this was before I even did YouTube. I was so blessed with the friends and family I have. But then once I started doing YouTube and getting on Twitter, you guys are everything. I love you so much. I see you guys sometimes more than my friends because we're on Twitter together every day, or I see you in the comments on my YouTube channel. And you guys are a part of my life now. And I love you, and I will always be honest with you. And that's part of why this video message was so hard to make, because I wanted to go into this super positive, like, guys, I'm fine. I'm not scared at all. We've got this. The truth is, that is true. I will be okay, but I'm scared too. And I just didn't want it to be a, oh, feel bad for me, feel bad for Jake. Because I don't need your pity. I have an amazing life. If anything, there's stuff that you guys go through on a daily basis that I could never handle. I'm lucky. I have both my parents. They're both in my life and they love me. I have an amazing little sister. I have amazing friends. Some people don't have that. Or, you know, maybe I'm sick, but I couldn't handle if my friend was the sick one. You know, I couldn't handle that. We're put in this life to handle what we can. And I don't know if I could handle everything that I've handled in the last couple of years without you guys. Really. So just know that my life, like having cystic fibrosis, so worth it. So worth it. I would take 10 cystic fibrosis to have this life. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's not perfect, but it's perfect to me. Every day is an adventure and fun. And I love it. So I want you guys to know I'm okay. I'll be in the hospital for a couple weeks. I'll definitely, at the very least, tweet if I can't make any content. But this is just a part of cystic fibrosis. And if anything, I'm glad it's happening now. Because we're bringing a lot of awareness to cystic fibrosis. We get to do that because of this video. So that's a really cool thing. This went on way longer than I wanted it to. I guess I had a lot more to say than I thought. But if you watch this to the very end, thank you so much. I love you, and hopefully I will see you soon. Bye, everyone.